In this video, we'll begin to look at some of the word problems in this section on solving systems of linear equations by substitution. Problem 19. A farmer plants corn and wheat on a 180-acre farm. The farmer wants to plant 3 times as many acres of corn as wheat. Write a system of linear equations that represents this situation. How many acres of each crop should the farmer plant? So the first question that we have here is, what is it that we're trying to solve for? What are we looking for? And the answer is that we want to know how many acres of each crop. So I'm going to start with x equals number of acres of corn. Y equals number of acres of wheat. Now, a few things that we know. We know that the first thing we know is that the farmer is going to plant corn and wheat on a 180-acre farm. So that tells us that the number of acres of corn plus the number of acres of wheat has to be equal to 180 acres. Then the second thing we know is that the farmer wants to plant 3 times as many acres of corn as wheat. Now this statement, this sentence in English is very difficult to process. To me, the easiest way to think about this is to consider which one of these two in the end will have more. Will it be corn or wheat? They want 3 times as many acres of corn as wheat. And so it should be clear that you're going to have more corn than wheat. How much more? 3 times the wheat will be the corn. So x would be equal to 3 times y. Again, y is less. When you multiply that by 3, you triple the wheat. That will tell you how much corn that there should be. So we want to write a system of linear equations that represents this situation and how many acres of each crop should the farmer plant. So we have our two equations now. X plus y equals 180 and x is equal to 3y. Well, since we know another name for x, we can simply take that other name for x and substitute it for x in the first equation, giving us 3y plus y is equal to 180, or 4y is 180. Dividing both sides by 4, we get y is equal to 45, and that's 45 acres. That is the number of acres of wheat. Then we know that the corn has to be 3 times as much, so x will be 3 times y. Of course, we know that from this equation here, and 3 times 45 will be 135, so we have 135 acres of corn. So that's all we need to do for this particular problem. We have corn, we have wheat. Together, it's 180 acres, giving us the equation x plus y is 180. Second, the corn should be 3 times as much as the wheat. So x is equal to 3y. We take x equals 3y and substitute that for x in the first equation. Solve 3y plus y is 180, 4y is 180, y is 45, and x is 3 times that, or 135. All right, we'll go on to the next problem. Okay, in problem number 20, we have a company offers tubing trips down a river, and they rent tubes for a person to use and cooler tubes to carry food and water. Now, a group spends $270 to rent a total of 15 tubes. Write a system of linear equations that represents the situation, and how many of each type of tube does the group rent? So what are we trying to figure out here? How many types of each tube? So X is number of person tubes, and Y is the number of cooler tubes. What do we know? Well, we know that this is similar to a problem we did earlier in this section about tickets sold to the drama club performance. And in that case, we didn't know the price of the tickets, but here we actually know the price of the two different types of tubes. The price of the person tube is $20, and the price of the cooler tube is $12.50. So one thing we know here is that $20 times the number of person tubes, that will give us the amount from person tubes, that is the amount of money, and second we have 1250 times y. 1250 times y gives us the amount of dollars from cooler tubes. And we know that the total amount of money spent was $270. And so that's one important equation. Then it says, actually this is all together, that the group spends $270 to rent a total of 15 tubes. Well, since there are 15 tubes, then we know that X plus Y has to equal 15. So what we're going to need to do in this particular case is we have two equations, 20x plus 12.5y is 270, and we have x plus y is 15. So we're going to need to solve one of these equations for one of the variables. And let's do that with the second equation. We're simply going to solve for y by subtracting x from both sides. We can write that as 15 minus x or negative x plus 15. Either one is okay. And then I'll scroll down a little bit and start to work on this. Well, we're running out of space, so I'm going to rearrange things just a little bit here. Alright, so just take a second to see how I set that up. I have my X is the person tubes, Y is the number of cooler tubes, then I have together the number of person tubes plus cooler tubes has to equal 15. Solving for Y, I get Y equals negative X plus 15. Then I have my other equation, which is $20 times the number of person tubes plus $12.50 times the number of cooler tubes is going to equal $270. Now we're ready to begin to substitute. So I have 20 times x plus 12.5 times negative x plus 15, and that has to equal 270. So I need to distribute here. I have 20x minus 12.5x, and then I have 12.5 times 15. Now I'll use the calculator for that. 12.5 times 15, and that gives me $187.50. So plus $187.50 equals 270. Combining like terms on the left gives me $7.50 times x plus 187.50 is 270. Then I'm going to subtract 187.5 from both sides. again bring in my calculator. I get 270 minus 187.5 is equal to 8250. And so I have 7.5x is equal to 8250. And now if I divide both sides by 7.5, once again use my calculator, 82.5 divided by 7.5, nope, 82.5 divided by 7.5 gives me 11. And so x is equal to 11. What is x? X is the number of person tubes. And I know that together I have 15, so I'm going to have 4 cooler tubes. And if I wanted to check this, all I would do is go back and multiply 20 times 11 plus 1250 times 4, and that should give me $270. And so 20 times 10 is 200, 20 times 11 is 220. 12.5 times 2 would be 25, so this should give me 50. 12.5 times 4, and that does indeed equal 270, and so we have checked it, our answer. Alright, so that is going to do it for this video and these two different types of problems here.